This is a reaction video covered by fair use.
The three.
The left hand.
According to show stats, so
Showcasing some years of age. And Martin on
left hand arm combination.
4 to 2001.
yeah, he learned at his feet, and you know we've made much about Derek James, but Herman Caicedo made the point, and it's really true.
As you can see, Martin already figured out early that he was only trying to use that right hand. So once he adjusted to the speed and he adapted the way Rivera was using it, he started figuring out ways to nullify it and letting him shoot by him. And while he goes in and will start to work on the inside until he can break down Rivera, and start working on, him being, catching him with counters on the inside to slow him up, make him think about throwing that right hand. And you could see Rivera, trying to be a little physical, but he saw that he wasn't as strong as Frank Martin. As they got into the grapples, Frank Martin started working on him from round one. So, he is an exceptional athlete, man. Frank Martin ain't nothing to be played with, and Rivera just found that out the hard way.
He's gone in the second. Rivera.
Rivera is fighting smart. He would, and allowing him
is taking the jab away from
Yeah,
Rivera.
that's exactly.
distance, the right proper distance.
Yes.
Lands another combination upstairs and again jab of Rivera and landing as the corner man for an uppercut because of that. And now Martin to continue.
Martin,
He didn't like baseball. He prefers
too.
him at number 8, and of course you talked about the embarrassment of Gervonta Davis facing Davis.
Now there was the right hand. So the big thing is he's got to
Martin, and he's able to land the straight right.
Martin comes back and lands a one.
So here, you saw, Frank Martin just showing his superior boxing IQ. And, you saw the mental defeat of Michel Rivera. His will was breaking at this moment. Every time he threw something, he was getting countered. He was getting hit with 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 punches, and he couldn't stop Frank from going in the inside. He realized that he was faster. He realized he was smarter. He realized that he was just a better man. And all that was crashing in on Michel Rivera because anything he did, he got countered and he was getting falumaloom. And so, that just started mentally breaking him down, And he couldn't really deal with it. He couldn't believe what was happening to him, that the man was faster, the man was smarter, and the man was stronger. That's hard to deal with, bro. That's hard to deal with.
Derek James.
the power percent, which is where it's in yet.
I mean, both having their
Against the southpaw.
5-pounders. Maiden fires back with the left hand. There, Martin trying to blind. Referee Bayless rules it a.
best, come back with something.
In this round, landing 3. Meanwhile, landing a couple of lefts, doubling.
There, jab to the glove, to the shoulder, and you throw that right hand.
Las Vegas. And
His hands go a lot more. And volley.
Rivera. But Rivera.
I don't think Michel Rivera, I don't think his team was ready for his jab to be taken out the equation. And you see how Frank Martin, how easily, he intercepts Rivera's his jab, man. He just took it right out the equation. And by tapping and messing with his jab, he was able to, slip the right hand, go on the inside, and do his damage and stuff. And this was frustrating Michel Rivera. He didn't understand what Frank was doing to him. And then when he slipped the right hand, he could do what he wanted and just roll out to the right and stay away from Michel's power. And he was just frustrated all night, and he would just get disillusioned, You know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't believe that this little dude with the shorter reach could do this to him. But has nothing to do with reach. It has everything to do with skill. And Frank the Ghost Martin showed that.
If you're more to let go of that right hand, you got to come back with something.
The last couple rounds, and well, best way to get there.
Both
Power from Martin's side.
Yeah.
Martin.
But depending on how these rounds are, on Rivera to be more aggressive.
It's aggressive because Martin's staying right in.
Rivera's landing 6 per round.
And see, I think Martin is a faster, quick.
Unwilling to move to his left against the lefty. Just isn't able to do it. Exactly. You wouldn't him on the punches normally, so that's kind of what Martin's landing better.
And he's using that fast jab and
Not gonna lie, that reminded me a bit of
in the first half of this 12-round affair. There's a
double.
As you can see, that double jab left to the body was killing Michel Rivera all night. And there's nothing he could do to stop it because, you know, he had allowed himself to get mentally defeated and he couldn't make the adjustments, you know. And, you know, Frank Martin, he understood that Michel was limited, you know what I'm saying, into his understanding to make these adjustments. And so he started taking it to his ass, you know what I'm saying. Double jab, you know what I'm saying, come with the left. And he was killing, he was destroying Michel's body. Michel tried to impose his size, you know, a few times, but, you know, he kept using the right, and Frank would just slip the right. He may step out with his left foot, you know what I'm saying, miss with the right, then he'll come back with a super sharp left-hand counter and get on the inside. So it was just totally frustrating night for Michel Rivera, but he did what he could do, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Jab, left hand to the body.
And one of the problems for Rivera is
speed. Rivera more dial-up right now. Yes. They exchange in the center ring.
now there Rivera threw that.
Shots with the jab missing, and
That's probably the one thing about Frank.
and there the combination knocks.
Come to me.
Rivera's trainer, Herman Kaido. Now it's a.
No, I think it's a mistake. And
again, Rivera gets tagged by.
It's going to be up to Rivera.
There's another.
With the right hand because she's not a.
Easier for us to say, but it's true. And again, it's controlled chaos that he's caught with Rivera coming at him from every angle.
talk about.
So, you know, Rivera, you know, he had no answer for the angles, you know what I'm saying, that Frank Martin was using. And, you know, so he kept turning them and, you know, saying the sheer physicality, you know what I'm saying, Frank Martin was giving him all kind of trouble. He didn't realize that Frank Martin was that strong. And it really affected Michel Rivera. He was so surprised by how fast he was, how this man could just, you know, pivot and, you know, say come back with counters off the angles, off the turns. He wasn't ready, even though he did it over and over and over again. And he was just super sharp. Frank was super prepared for this fight. You know, he wasn't prepared for Marinez. And I think they got a false assessment of Frank Martin from that fight because he hadn't prepared properly. But then, you know what I'm saying, that happens in boxing. You know what I'm saying? He became unprepared and got the real Frank Martin.
Sound. Martin is showing just exactly.
And I guess that's true for gets to sit under the learning tree of his career as he Michel Rivera coming into fight night. Well, he's
Not a recent appearances there.
But, you know, and now moves something in this fight. And it would start that will cause you to get hit with a bit
Another punch to make up for that last punch.
and there.
and that also. Yeah.
But we're seeing that savvy on display.
In display right now for everyone to see.
And the tempo of Frank Martin pops Rivera in the face and then goes on to do it. Martin told us
In better position to land that punch.
10th. And Frank
He's attempting it again.
God, it's been quite a year for the free level.
And it's been quite a...
Rivera's dipping his head around, and he is.
And according to our unofficial Steve Farhood, Michel Rivera's... There's turn Rivera.
So right here, you know, Frank Martin, you know what I'm saying, once he, you know what I'm saying, once Michel saw he couldn't like really do what he wanted to do, he became a one-dimensional fighter. You know what I'm saying? He just kept lunging with the right, trying to, you know, catch Frank Martin, you know what I'm saying, who was looking out for the right the entire time. So, you know what I'm saying, he knew what Michel Rivera wanted to do, so he kept trying to do the same thing, and it wasn't working for him because Frank already knew how he was going to throw the right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a mixed variation of how he was trying to throw that right. And so Frank was able to just counter him all day and just time him off the right. And then he stepped, you know what I'm saying, the way he stepped when he threw the punch, Frank knew the shit when it was coming. So he just kind of got caught up, you know what I'm saying, in the moment. And the moment was too big and he couldn't, you know what I'm saying, put all his skills together. And Frank was just a better man that night. You know, so you could see him just, you know, he was comfortable catching Michel all night.
You know what's really kind of is we had in our last fight when we saw got more done, you know, for Rivera.
Uppercut. Back. Marinez, Agnon, Gervonta Davis. And counter scores for Martin. In the exit of this fight, he's showcasing maturity. Frank Martin, the IQ. Combinations.
Just a superb performance.
Swelling under of Michel Rivera. Round is coming up. Made it to the 12th.
And it was this round when Michel Rivera knew he had fucked up. And he saw this guy was just, you know, superior in every way. Foot speed, you know what I'm saying, hand speed, boxing IQ. He just saw it all because he was just thinking, I can't do shit with this guy. Frank the Ghost Martin, who the fuck is this guy? He's like Black Superman or some shit. This nigga he is Black Adam tonight, you know what I'm saying? And he was just clicking on all cylinders. He was super sharp. I mean, everything he did worked. I mean, he was clicking on all cylinders, you know what I'm saying? The time and the speed. I'm talking about the footwork was just perfect. And, you know, Rivera was just caught himself watching this man work on his ass. And it was just like, Rivera was like, man, you know, I shouldn't have took this fight. It was too early for me. I just didn't know what the hell I was looking at when they looked at the film. And now he paying for it, you know. But he fought his ass off, though.
And final round, and he's going to need it.
And Michel Rivera has really good power on the knockouts with it. He's going to need if he's going to have any chance of winning.
Then I just noticed Martin.
It was that Rivera kept doing the same thing over, leaning to his right.
Continues to go to work using.
And interesting that their teams really asked for that
in the fight.
Going to be a bit of reaching there.
Double jab upstairs. Final minute.
The fact that Martin never
left.
Frank, in his short amateur career, he was on the precipice of a big move.
He has in Michel Rivera, both undefeated. Win of his young career. Michel Rivera.
So there you have it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the bigger man and the longer man don't win. You know, skill plays a lot in boxing and athletic ability, and Frank has tons of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got a lot of muscle mass, you know what I'm saying? He's a strong dude in the ring. So he can really do pretty much what he wants if you're the superior athlete who can get in and get out, who can counter, who can move his feet in the right positioning. And he just did the same thing, just counter and turn Rivera, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, who didn't display any adjustment ability. And Frank just had a field day. And Frank the Ghost Martin is now ready for the top of the 135 division. And, you know, EJ, this is a great contender now for him. And, you know, we're going to look out for Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? We'll cover it more in the live stream. But, yeah, Frank Martin, masterful performance. You know what I'm saying?
About to taste defeat for the first time.
And still undefeated, Frank the Ghost